Hey everyone, how you guys going? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be answering all of your weight gain process related questions that you guys have asked on Instagram, all the doubts and things like that that you guys have, so that we can clear things out for you so that you can perform better in your weight gain process. All those who don't follow me on Instagram, just so you guys know, I time to time give you guys this opportunity to ask any kind of questions and doubts and things like that that you might have on Instagram. So make sure if you don't follow me there, you do follow. Anyways, I received a ton of questions from you guys and I have kind of grouped the questions together and I will answer group by group, and we will see if this video gets too long, then I might divide the video into two parts and we'll post the second part next week on Tuesday. Okay, I'm gonna start with the first group of questions, which is related to working out and stuff like that. Now these questions are not in any particular sequence or order. I've literally got them written down here and I will just take each question and answer one by one. First question is gaining weight by building muscle a sustainable process? It sure is sustainable if you take this process as a lifestyle and not something that you just do for 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 weeks. To make anything sustainable in your life, you have to include that thing as a part of your life. You have to include that in your daily routine so that it can be there as a lifestyle for you, and only then it can be sustainable for you. So try and adopt this process as a lifestyle. Second question is, what are the side effects of working out after you leave working out? Now I know this question you guys asked to me, but my question is, why do you want to leave working out? Take it this way: you brush your teeth are clean, right? So are you going to stop brushing after 2 or 3 days because your teeth are clean? No, you won't. You have to maintain your teeth by constantly brushing and maintaining that oral hygiene every single day, right? Same thing applies for any kind of thing, any kind of changes you're bringing to your body. You have to maintain that health, you have to maintain that fitness, right? And to be able to maintain the muscles that you gain, you will have to make sure that you move from a gaining process to a maintaining process, where you will still be required to do workouts. Of course, you won't have to do it as intense as you were doing them during your gaining process. You can cut down, you can just do like, basic moderate kind of workouts to just maintain the muscles that you've gained, and of course support them with maintenance calories. Basically, your body is what you make it, okay? If you will look after it well, it will stay that way. If you will just stop the whole process and you will feel like that, okay, now I've done everything for the body and now you expect that your body will remain the same for the rest of your life, it's not going to happen that way. You will have to help your body to maintain the way you want it to be, okay? So that's basically it. So that's not a side effect of you leaving workout. That's just a side effect because you chose to not live a healthy lifestyle. Simple. Third question is, can you gain muscle without working out or just by doing body weight exercises? Now, I have addressed these questions many times before as well, but I'm going to do it again. Firstly, your body already has muscles, right? In the process of gaining, you're trying to gain that muscle. You're trying to grow that muscle further. Now, to support that growth, you have to put some sort of tension on those muscles so that you can break them first and then support it with your calories. You can build them, grow them, which is where the thickness and the weight comes from, right? Now, to be able to put that tension on those muscles, you will have to work out. How can you expect to grow muscle without putting any kind of tension on your muscles? Like, it's not going to happen. And secondly, you sure can start with body weight workouts. That's no problems at all. But muscle building is all about progressive overloading, which means time to time you will have to increase the load that you're putting on your muscles. And how are you going to do that? Whether you start with body weight, then you move to bag full of books or whatnot, then you move to dumbbells, then you move to heavier dumbbells, and so on. This is basically how the process is, right? So you sure can start with body weight, but you must progress to weights after that. Because if you stayed stuck on that body weight, or if you stayed stuck on that 2 kg dumbbell and never progressed, then the muscles won't grow either. Again, it's what you give your muscles, that is exactly how they will respond back. If you won't challenge them, then they won't grow the way you want them to grow. Next question is, what is the best time to work out? Now, any time is a great time for workout. It doesn't matter whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, it doesn't really matter. As long as it's a time that you can commit to so that you can stay consistent in the process, then that is the best time for you to work out. Now, you sure can keep on changing your workout timings depending on your work shifts and things like that. But what I would recommend, and if it's possible to do that, looking at your job routine and things like that, then try and fix your workout timing. Reason why? Firstly, that way you'll be able to stay consistent, because then you know that is your workout time, which means you will never ever schedule something else at that particular time because you have put that aside for your workout. So that increases consistency quite a lot. Second reason is, if you're somebody who struggled with poor appetite, or who struggled with eating habits and things like that, then having a routine where everything has a set time, including your workouts and meals and things like that, because of course you will arrange your meals and snacks accordingly depending what time you'll be working out and stuff like that. So if you have a fixed routine going on, then that way you can help your body to increase that appetite as well, because there is going to be a routine. You will know it's eating time, it's workout time, and then there is no issue. Your body understands the pattern and it will help you eat those extra calories and consume those extra calories and increase the appetite over a period of time. So which is why I would recommend definitely try and fix your workouts if you can, but of course there may be days here and there where you might have to change the workout timing or whatnot, and if you have to do that, then that's not an issue at all, as long as you make sure you arrange the placements of your meals or snacks accordingly so that you can consume all of your daily calories as well as you get in that workout where you can push yourself nice and hard. So as long as you're doing that, it doesn't matter what time you work out. Next question is, can you gain weight and develop abs at the same time? Now you must understand one thing: when you get into a bulking process, which is a gaining process where you're trying to gain weight, right, you eat in a caloric surplus, and when you do that, of course there is going to be a lot of muscle growth depending if you have done your breakdown of your macronutrients properly or not, but anyways, in the process muscle growth is definitely going to be there, but together with that the fat percentage of the body will increase. There is no process out there where you can only gain muscle and no fat whatsoever. It doesn't work like that. So when you are gaining, your body's fat percentage will increase as well, and you may notice that, you know, when the fat covers your muscles, then your abs are not going to be as prominent, right? So there are two things that you can do. Firstly, you can take the process nice and slow. Instead of going into too big of a surplus, you can go into a small surplus, keeping your protein on a higher side, carbs moderate, and fats on the low side, so that you can focus more on muscle growth and keep the increase of that fat percentage of your body very minimal. Okay, this way you can gain and kind of keep your muscles exposed at the same time. Okay, so basically you can stay lean as well as gain at the same time. Second way is that you get into a bulking or a gaining process for 8 to 10 weeks time and just focus on gaining, and once you have finished that bulking phase, that's when you can do a mini cut of 3 or 4 weeks time where you can still push hard with you know, lifting weights and things like that, so that you can maintain and in fact even keep on gaining muscle mass. But cutting down the calories will bring down the fat percentage of your body, which means the muscles that are hidden under that fat will then be exposed. It's just that we all have muscles, and even in the bulking phase, even in the gaining phase, you are building that muscle. But if there is more and more fat increase, then of course that muscles kind of hide under the fat, and to be able to expose those muscles, you just have to cut down that fat a little bit, which you can do it by choosing either of these two ways. And lastly, if you already have quite a lot of fat accumulation on your body and you still want to gain weight on certain parts of your body, then my suggestion would be to cut down on that fat that you're already storing, and then move into a surplus and then move into a gaining process. Because if you move directly into a surplus, then that fat accumulation will surely increase, because as I said, together with muscle growth, the fat percentage also increases in the surplus or the gaining process. Next question is, a lot of people have seen this workout split video of mine, but they're not sure when to include abs and how many times should they train their abs and things like that. Now what I do and what I would suggest is, firstly, if you can engage your abs throughout your workouts, no matter what kind of muscles you're training, which body part you're training, if you can keep your abs engaged, your abs are working. Secondly, if you really want to do specific exercises, which of course is also recommended, then instead of just putting one day aside that okay, this is an abs day, you can totally do 2 or 3 ab exercises at the end of your weightlifting sessions. For example, you finish your push session, at the end of that session you can do about 2 or 3 ab exercises. You can do them as circuit, and that's it. There you go, that's your ab routine. So you can do something of this sort 2 to 3 times a week to keep those abs growing and getting stronger in that section as well. Next question is, push-ups are really hard, how should we progress? Now again, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you would see that I did a push-up progression Instagram post a while back, I think early this year or even late last year or something like that. So again, you know, push-up is an amazing exercise and includes a lot of basically all of your upper body muscles, right? Everything from your legs up, everything is kind of included in your push-ups, right? So that requires a lot of strength in your back, in your shoulders, in your chest, in your arms, and everything like that, in your core. A core strength is very important as well. So of course you will be training all of these muscles individually so that you can you know, get stronger in those areas, which will directly impact how well you're performing in your push-ups. But at the same time, you want to keep on practicing push-ups as well, right? Now instead of directly trying knee push-ups or regular push-ups and things like that, start with the easiest variation. Okay, start by doing wall push-ups, which is like pretty high, very much in a vertical position, but that helps you practice the movement, and that kind of helps your body understand as well that okay, this is also a kind of movement that she will be doing. And over time, as you get stronger and as you practice more and more, you can drop the height down. So from a vertical wall, you can kind of move to a table or something like that, which is like a higher table. Then you can move to a chair. That's when you can move to your knee push-ups and eventually regular push-ups, right? Now this is again a thing that will not just happen in 3 or 4 weeks time. Upper body strength requires a lot of time to develop and things like that. So as long as you're staying consistent in your strengthening process, which is your muscle building building process, as well as you stay consistent with practicing the push-up move, whichever variation you're doing, that doesn't matter. As long as that is there, over the few weeks time or over a few months time, you will see that you are getting stronger and you're getting better in your push-ups, and that is how you progress in push-ups. Next question is how to keep your body nice and tight during your workouts, right? Now what I mean by that is, you know, having that great posture, because having that great posture is very, very important no matter what kind of workout or what kind of body part you're training. That posture is very important. That nice straight back is very important. Nice tight abs are very important, because that is going to make sure that your posture is correct, which will keep you away from any kind of injuries and things like that. But how to do that? Now when I say keep a nice tight upright posture, what I mean by that is shoulders back, chest out, abs tight, right? You just want to kind of squeeze your abs, not in a way that you're holding your breath. You don't want to hold your breath. You still want to be breathing comfortably, but you're just tightening the muscles, which is just going to happen, you know. Just even while you're watching this video, just try and tightening your ab muscles, right? When you do that and when you have your shoulders back, chest out, your spine is going to be nice and straight, right? That is a nice erect posture. Now look at me, I'm sitting in a nice upright posture, right? And as soon as I hunch down, my shoulders are curving and my abs have completely given up, so there is like a good scrunch going on there. That's not the kind of posture you want, and this is the kind of posture we normally sit in as well, and that is why you experience back pain and neck pain and those kind of things, right? So not just in workouts, even otherwise generally in your life as well, you know, when you're sitting down on your desk and working and things like that, make sure you have this kind of posture going on, right? If you can practice this posture, your workouts are going to be amazing. You will never struggle with any kind of injury issues or whatnot, because you know, this is something that will come very naturally to you, right? The tighter midsection and the tighter lower back section you have, you will always be able to stay away from any kind of injuries, and you'll be able to perform a lot better in your exercises, because when you have a great posture, the body also supports you to lift that heavier weight and stuff like that, right? Because everything is aligned, everything is the way it should be, so of course the body will support you to lift heavy and perform better. But if something is not the way it should be and the posture is, you losing the posture and things like that, then of course the body will give up, leaving you with an injury, which is something you don't want. Next question is how to create mind to muscle connection. Now this is something which is tricky and will definitely require a lot of practice. It's not something that you can learn just with 1 or 2 workouts. It will require a lot of practice, but these are the things you can keep in mind when you're trying to create a mind to muscle connection. Firstly, what is mind to muscle connection? Whenever you're training a muscle, let's say you're training your biceps, right? There is one thing that you just pump out the repetitions, and there is another thing where you create a mind to muscle connection with that bicep, and when you do every single repetition, you should feel that that bicep is working in every single repetition that you're doing, right? Now how to do that? That you do by creating a mind to muscle connection, and what that means is that when you are doing that exercise, you want to squeeze the muscle that you're working on. By squeezing the muscle or by contracting that muscle, what you're doing is you're waking up that muscle, and you are kind of reminding that muscle that you are actually training it, so it better get to work. Okay, that's basically what it is, right? You want to squeeze the muscle so that you can feel it in the muscle, to ensure that it is actually getting worked at, instead of just pumping out the repetitions, because then there is no activation, the muscle is not even engaged, like, you know, nothing is happening. So that's why it's important that you have that mind to muscle connection, which will only come when you have a nice controlled movement, instead of just rushing through things. When you make sure that you're squeezing the muscle that you're working on in every single repetition of that exercise, and you know, sometimes if you have seen my previous videos, you will see that, you know, I like to stare at the muscle sometimes I even, like when I'm doing a single arm or single leg exercises, I sometimes even try to touch the muscle to kind of create that extra focus, and tell my mind to connect with that particular muscle that I'm touching or looking at, so that, you know, it can engage that muscle a lot more, it can activate the muscle a lot more, so that it can produce enough damage on that muscle for it to then eventually grow. So that is exactly what mind to muscle connection is. Next question is how much should you train to gain weight, as in how many days should you train and how long should your workouts be and things like that. So the answer to this is, I would say 5 days, 4 to 5 days, or else some people can go up to 6 days as well, which is totally fine, but at least 4 to 5 days I would highly recommend you to train. 1 hour workout in those 4 to 5 days is more than sufficient. Try and give your body rest of at least 2 days each week, because your muscles need time for recovery, and if you're not going to give rest to your muscle, and if you'll constantly just keep on training, then the muscles won't grow, because you're not giving your muscles time to grow. You're just like creating damage damage, but you're not letting it grow, you're not letting it heal, you're not letting it recover. So that's why rest is very important. So don't think training 7 days a week is going to produce more results. It doesn't work like that. You can easily train 4 days a week or 5 days a week and experience a good amount of muscle growth. Now next question is, which is a mix of a few different questions, which is like how to increase wrist size, or how to increase breast size, or how to increase size of your calf muscles and things like that, which is basically something I've covered a lot of times on my YouTube channel as well. And I think I'm going to leave all the links to the videos that I'm referring to in the description box below as well, so that you guys can have a look there. But basically again, it's the same thing. To grow a muscle, you must train that muscle, and you must progressive overload as you progress training that muscle. Other than that, keep one thing in mind: wrist or ankles, these are bones. You can never increase the size of a bone, and if you see, they are basically joints as well, so there is not a lot of muscle around that area. But instead what you can do is you can train your forearms so that as they get thicker, it will give your wrist a thicker appearance. You can grow your calf muscles, so as they grow, it will give your ankles a thicker appearance. And there were people who were asking that they have small waists, so how to increase the width there and things like that. Now I shared everything regarding increasing the waist size in this video, so definitely go check that out. Basically all you have to do is train your back muscles to get width in your upper body, to get width where your chest is, and of course to increase the width of your waist as well. You must train your back muscles. That is what it is. Next question is when to take rest days. So as I said, resting is very, very important. You want to give your muscles time to recover, right? Now when to take rest, now there is no rule as such. It's mainly something that you want to listen to your body, and you want to see how your body is feeling, and if you think your body feels ready to go through another extensive workout or not, right? Usually what I recommend to my clients is that they can train 2 days and take every third day off, so that time to time you're giving your muscles break and giving them time to recover and relax for a little bit, refuel themselves, so that the next workout you can push harder and perform your best. However, I'm somebody who trains 5 days in a row because I can, and then I like to take the 6th or 7th day as my rest day. But again, this is not something fixed as well. Sometimes if I feel like after 2 days or my leg days, if I'm feeling really exhausted, then I do go ahead and take a rest day in between, so that I can refuel myself and give my muscles time to recover a little bit before I hit it again in the gym, right? So this is something that you just have to play it by ear, and there is no rule as such. So see how you go, and accordingly you can take your rest days. Next question is, does sleep affect your weight gain process? And my answer to that is yes. As I said, now that we're talking about resting and things like that, sleep is the major time when your body is going through a whole process of recovering itself and healing itself and things like that. And if you're not going to give your body that time, and if you'll take away that time from it, then of course your body won't be able to heal properly, which means it will then be running on lesser fuel or lesser energy and things like that, right? And not just energy wise, or you feel exhausted if you don't sleep well or whatnot, but other than that, in my case, what I've noticed is if I don't sleep well, it directly impacts my appetite the next day, which means if I'm not going to eat well, then my gaining process will go down the drain, right? So it definitely it is a cycle, and it definitely impacts the whole process, which is why it's very, very important to stay hydrated, to rest well, to take rest days in between, because it's not always about just pushing your body. You have to give your body a break as well, okay? It's our body, we want to love it, it needs that time, so we cannot take that time away from it. Sleeping is very, very important. At least I know we are all busy, so at least get 6 hours sleep, if not 8 hours, which is of course is what's recommended, but at least 6 hours. Try and get that much in, and trust me, you will see a drastic change in your whole process. Next question is, are dumbbell based workouts at home are enough, or should you join a gym? Now my answer to this is, of course, you can start at home workouts. You can invest in some dumbbells. By the way, I've got some links to some dumbbells that I recommend in the description box below, so you can surely check those out and you can place your orders there. As I said, muscle building is all about progressive overloading. If you think you can constantly increase the weights of dumbbells that you're lifting at home, then you are just fine. You will experience constant growth. But if you hit a point where you have invested enough in dumbbells and you still want to keep on growing and you want to increase your strength and stuff like that, but you feel like there is no point investing in more dumbbells, that is when you can make the decision to move to a gym, right? Of course, gym has a lot of equipments, a lot of machines, which is always a bonus. But that being said, free weights can create a great amount of muscle growth, so you don't necessarily need those machines and things like that. So you sure can rely on your dumbbell based workouts, as long as you're making sure that you're increasing the weights of dumbbells that you're lifting week by week, fortnight by fortnight, and so on, because that is what your muscles require in terms to grow. It doesn't care whether you do that at home or at a gym. Okay, I think this video is getting really long, so I think I'm only going to cover the questions for working out side of things in this video. But stay tuned next week, because that is when we will cover the next group, which is all the eating side and surplus and calories side of things. So I'll answer all the questions that were related to that group. So make sure you tune in next week so that you don't miss out on the second part of this video. And to be able to help you with that, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you receive the notification as soon as I upload that video. Alright you guys, on that note, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.